Great question from Baker Bots here. In your opinion, what eDiscovery tools are best for retaining and searching emojis, within a workspace so that the attorneys can begin to unpack what happened and who said what?
I would say the good news is that a majority of eDiscovery software applications now handle emoji really well. So I don't know if there really is a best one, and that's a good thing, because if you asked me the question 8 years ago when I started, I don't know if any of them did. And what was interesting is actually they would just leave off the emoji. So I can't imagine how many cases potentially could have slightly changed based on that emoji being there versus not being there in a document. And it wasn't anything nefarious or on purpose. It was just the eDiscovery processing software did not understand what the emoji was, and it just wouldn't be included in the document. So now you're in good shape from a forensic tools, ECA tools, review tools, numerous of them handle them very well. So the key really comes back to the human expertise element of understanding the workflow. Ensure that your tool does handle the emoji. That's important. How does it and understand it? And then create the proper workflow. The other important piece goes back to the version of the emoji that we discussed previously, because what you're reviewing may not be what was actually sent or received. You have to understand what emoji set is being used by the review platform upon review. Oftentimes it is based on the web browser. If you're using Edge, for example, you're going to get the Microsoft version. If you're in Chrome, you'll get the Google version. If you're in Safari, you're going to get the Apple version. And it does seem that if you're using a Mac, you might get the Apple version anyways. But again, it depends on the review platform. And then what version is used when documents are imaged for production purposes. For example, I know Relativity uses the Google set of emoji. So it has to choose one and choose the recent Google set. But this goes back to the version of emoji that was sent by the sender, received by the recipient, reviewed by an attorney, and then produced the other side. It could be 4 different versions. It's important though to understand what version you're looking at and does it matter. I'd say majority of times it doesn't, but when it does, it can. And one example of that is the gun emoji. Again, certain platforms could change their emoji at different times. So Apple was the first to change the gun emoji to a squirt gun, but some still have a revolver. So if I send a squirt gun and you receive a revolver, you're probably going to have a different interpretation of what the message meant.